Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Taisho Alice, and, standard disclaimer, still in Snow's route. So, anyway, we're just going to pick up where we left off. So, the next morning I was busy setting up the cafe. Click, please. Morning, puppet. I see you're up bright and early. You're up bright and early today. Wow. Kaguya, you shouldn't make me do your voice first thing when I start recording, because, I ain't prepared, so. Good morning, Kaguya. I got a lot of rest yesterday, so today I'm playing catch-up. I answered as I mopped the floor. There's nothing to catch up to, really. So, isn't there anything I can help with? Nah, I've got it under control. No point in making someone else do it for me. Right you are. I'll take out the rubbish. You don't mind that, surely. He's so precious. I love him so much. He shot me a wink. Please, God, shoot me winks. Why do I love you so much, you little weirdo? He's so pretty. He's so fucking pretty. Anyway, thanks! Kaguya and the wizard were really the two, right off the bat. I was like, I love them. I did love Cinderella. I enjoyed Red. Gretel, Okay, I did actually enjoy Gretel in Cinderella's route. I remember being like, he's not normally the type of character I'd be like, I love you, but I kind of loved him anyway. And he's a creepy fucking weirdo, and I'm not complaining. I don't dislike Snow White, but he's the pretty lolly boy, and, that's just not what I'm into. So, even if his route's, the best thing ever, it's yeah, but, so. I had to say he's probably my least favorite. He's at the bottom. Just because. And, look, I know there's some people who just love Alice. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy him as a side character. I'm not 100% sure I would enjoy him as a love interest. But as a character, yes. Do I want to date you? No, not really. You and Snow White are, my least favorites. Not that I don't dislike them. It's just, you know what I mean? It's you don't do anything for me. Anyway. Somehow, he can always read me like a book. Say, Kaguya? I called out to him as he was changing the garbage bags. How do you feel about yourself? I mean, how could he not think he's the most beautiful fucking thing on the planet? Huh? He tilted his head, confused. I should have led up to my question a little better. You see, Snow White, my Prince Charming, he hates himself. Ah, I see. And since I'm most likely to hate myself as well, you wanted to get my thoughts. See what I mean? He's sharp as a knife. I don't think you hate yourself. You just kind of remind me of him, so I wanted to ask you about it. Specifically, he really hates anyone commenting on his appearance. It's weird because he's so pure and beautiful, like snow. Well, I've not met him, so it's hard to say, but... In short, I reckon he's got no self-confidence. You think so? Not to make any assumptions, mind you, but if you think about it, people can hate themselves for the smallest reasons, yeah? Like if you were compared to someone better, or if someone made a nasty comment. Even little harmless observations can do it. The one who said it may not have meant anything by it, but you might still carry it with you for the rest of your life. He's not fucking wrong. Right there. Everyone with any kind of freaking body confidence issue or low self-esteem is because somebody said some shit. You're like, it doesn't bother me. Somewhere deep inside, there's a little you that was 10 years old in the corner it does though. It still bothers me. I know I should have gotten over it, but you could be 98% over it, but there's always that little smidgen that's mm-mm. We hold grudges. I'm gonna remember it forever. But you don't hate that person. You're the jerk who said it. You're like, no, I'm the jerk because I made you say it because I'm just whatever you said. We are assholes to ourselves. We're assholes to other people, but we're bigger assholes to ourselves. Anyway. But then again, there could be a lot more to it that I simply have no way of knowing about, isn't it? Right. I could think of 2 people that might have inspired his self-hatred. His mother or his old friend. At the very least, it couldn't have been me, since I'd only just met him. Another question. Would it bother you if someone mistook you for a woman? Well, yeah, I reckon so. Right. Not unless you were like, oh my god, right, I'm so pretty. Putting myself in Snow White's shoes, I could see myself getting kind of upset if someone thought I was a guy. No wonder he seemed to hate feminine words like cute or pretty. Well, too fucking bad, sweetie, cause like, we like pretty boys, and if you don't want to be pretty, you ain't for me. I must have really touched a sore spot. I couldn't remember every single thing I'd ever said to him, but chances were high I'd inadvertently used some of the words he didn't like. I mean, here's the thing, too. Like, yes, it's hard to find words for men. Because you're not like cute, okay, is like, even as a girl, if they call you cute, you're like, well, like a puppy cute, or like, oh no, you look cute today. Like, you know what I mean? You don't know how to take it, because it sounds like, oh, you're so cute. Like, are you being condescending? Or like, nice? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it can have multiple forms. And you can tell a woman beautiful, gorgeous, like, breathtaking. Like, but like, with a guy, you're like, what are you, you're handsome? Doesn't it just sound so like, well, I mean, we are 80 on the inside. Oh, he's a real handsome fella, but you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, he's so handsome. It's not like, my god, he's fucking beautiful. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't have the same impact. Or like, hot is like objectively just, yeah, he's hot, but that's like not as good as, like, if somebody was like, wow, you're hot. Like, okay. It's like, you just want to stick your dick in me. Now, like, beautiful has a different connotation than hot. You know what I mean? Hot is like a temporary thing. I may be hot right now because I'm wearing a mini skirt and a tube top. No one would ever say that about me in a mini skirt and a tube top. I'm just saying. They'd probably scream and run the other way. But I'm just saying. If you look hot in a mini skirt and a tube top or whatever, like, you're not always going to look like that. And you may look more beautiful than other times, but you can still be beautiful when you're like, you're still beautiful even when you're dressed like a schlub and haven't taken a shower in 2 days. You know what I mean? Because beauty can be inner beauty, outer beauty can be the combination, you know, and has different, like, levels. But, like, hot is generally just, like, a passing fucking thing. You're not always going to be hot. Like, and hot almost implies more, like, immediate, lusty, sexual connotation. Like, wow, you're so fucking hot. You know what I mean? So, like, so what do you call guys? Cute makes them feel like, what? Like I'm a fucking baby deer or some shit? You can't call them pretty, because then they get offended. Like, oh, you're so rugged and masculine. But Snow White is not rugged and masculine, and, like, not everybody finds that attractive. So, like, literally, what do you say? You're handsome. Like, or attractive. Those aren't nearly enough. We need better terms. So look, listen, dudes. Just take it if we call you pretty or beautiful. It's a compliment. Shut up. It's also toxic masculinity if you're like, you can't just stand being somebody, like a woman calling you beautiful. I'm sorry. But if you're a beautiful man, you're fucking beautiful. Shut the fuck up and deal with it. Because that's what we like. Do you know what I'm saying, though? You're like, handsome, and like, I mean, I guess, like, a woman, like, oh, a handsome woman. I mean, again, it's not 1842 anymore, and, like, is that a compliment, or are you saying a square, like, what I don't, you know what I mean? We just need better, attractive words for men than handsome. It's like, yes, no, he's handsome. But, like, it's not like, oh my god, he's so beautiful. It doesn't evoke the same feeling for me like a man is handsome. It'd be like, yes, no, he's conventionally attractive. I'm not personally attracted to him, but I recognize with my eyeballs that other people would find his features attractive. You know? Like, anyway. 6 hours later, let's just back on, beep, 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 back up the derail train. We're getting back on track, bitches. We're never on track here. Yeah, see, even the bird's like, bitch, back it up. I couldn't remember. Okay, no, we already spread that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. After all, I didn't see it as an insult whatsoever. See? Try as you might, you can't change the past. It's not a video game. You can't hit the reset button and start over. This game is calling us out, and it's so far. Stop being self-aware. I don't like it. It's like you're borderline. You're like, I feel like we're in a video game, but, like, maybe not. And there's no wizard here to grant your wish. Stop it! It's getting creepy now. If you truly regret your mistake, then the best thing you can do is avoid repeating it, yeah? That's pretty solid advice. It is, isn't it? It is, isn't it? forgot his accent there for a second. Did I sound like you just then? You sure did. Thanks, Kaguya. Mm-hmm. We exchanged a high five. I just love how we finger gun and high five everyone. It's amazing. After that, Kaguya went back to taking out the trash, and I resumed cleaning. There, all done. Once the floor was waxed and the shelves were dusted, we were ready to open. Now for the kitchen. But just as I turned... Wait, what? I heard Kaguya's confused voice and hurried to find him. What's wrong, Kaguya? Found him staring into the fridge, confused. I walked over and he stepped out of my way so I could see. Well, I had a look in the fridge just now to see what could be thrown out, and it seems there's an awful lot of leftovers. You're right. Now that he had pointed it out, it was clear that the fridge was much fuller than it normally was, yet we hadn't ordered any extra ingredients. Kaguya and I exchanged a glance. Magic pie? We're losing customers? Ah. No amount of agonizing could stop the flow of time. Who could possibly hope to stop the sun from setting? And so... There we were at the lake, but neither of us had spoken a word to each other. It was so unbelievably awkward, right? We weren't really fighting per se, but I had no clue how to start a conversation with him. Hey, Oh, we said it at the same time, but I can't do two voices at once. Hey, We spoke up at the same time. Oh, you go first. You go first. Then it happened again. Another suffocating silence, but right as I was trying to think of a way to break it. I'm sorry about yesterday. He let out a sigh. I shouldn't have yelled at you. It wasn't your fault. Oh, no, it's fine. It didn't bother me. I just cried. Agonized over it, and I haven't slept at all. Just kidding. I waved my hands dismissively. But of course, just because it didn't bother me, didn't mean it didn't bother him. I understand if you hate me now. He looked away sadly. I could never hate you. The next thing I knew, I was shouting. My prince looked at me in alarm, but I kept going anyway. Everyone has bad days sometimes. I don't blame you for getting frustrated and wanting to vent. So no, I'm not going to stop being your friend over it. But despite my firm declaration, he frowned at me anxiously. You sure? Super sure. I leaned forward and peered into his eyes. I could see my reflection, tinged lilac. I don't know why my brain, because I saw tinge and then the lilac wanted to read tingled, and I was like, tingled lilac is not right. Why can't I read? Well, tingled lilac. Tingled lilac. I don't know. We're going to make that a thing. I'm going to forget it. Holy shit. But I knew that if he looked into my eyes, he'd know I wasn't lying. The eyes are the windows to the soul, as they say. He blinked at me. In response, I pulled back slightly. Anyway, I'm sorry too. I made some thoughtless comments without taking your feelings into account. What are you talking about? I said a lot of stuff without realizing it would hurt you. What, like you're cute? Yeah. I smiled awkwardly. Sure enough, he could see right through me. I don't really care that much. You sure? Super sure. This time the roles were reversed. Silence fell for the fourth time, but this one wasn't suffocating, just mildly awkward. Well, can we be friends again? Yeah. He nodded and I smiled like the weight of the world had been lifted from my shoulders. What's so funny? Nothing. Honestly, I was scared you wouldn't show up tonight. But you did, and that really means a lot to me. I mean, I said I would, so... Right, it's always good to keep your word. So I'm gonna keep mine too. He shot me a dubious look. No surprise there. Word about what, though? After all, he had yet to realize what I meant. I filled my lungs with chilly lake air and slowly exhaled. Then I looked directly into his eyes. Prince, I don't know your life story. I still barely know you. I don't know what you're thinking or what secrets you hold. But I do know this. I love you. And because I love you, I want to know you. I want you to tell me what's on your mind, what you're looking for. What I'm looking for? He tilted his head slightly. In a way, the gesture reminded me of his mother. Yes, tell me everything. He hesitated for a moment. I'm not a prince. Huh? I'm not the Prince Charming you think I am. If he's not Prince Charming, then what is he? I don't know! I'm just kidding, it's Snow White. Was this his roundabout way of asking me to call him by name? Okay then, Snow White. When I called his name, his pale face flushed pink right before my eyes. Ever since I met you, my life's been thrown off track. It wasn't supposed to be like this. So you owe me. I owe you? He closed his eyes in contemplation for a moment, then looked back at me, his purple irises shining. Let's play a game. What? It was so sudden it took me a moment to process it. I said let's play a game. I'll give you a riddle and I want you to solve it. A riddle? Will you play Snow White's game? Yes, I guess. There's a lot of yeses in the next few choices, so we're going to get so lost as to what... Well, I mean, I guess we can figure it out. I smirked. Bring it on. I'll show you I can win any game you throw at me. But if I do, then you have to do whatever I ask. Deal? Deal. At my challenge, he grinned. Once upon a time, there were 10 brothers. As the head of the household, the brothers all obeyed your command. Each had their own unique disposition. Some were nicer than others. But they each took on the nature the head of the household had chosen for them. I mean, if he said 7, it would have been 7 dwarfs, but, swallowing hard, I waited for his next words. But they never came. Wait, what? Is that the whole riddle? Meanwhile, Snow White smiled faintly. Well, good luck. When he lets us go, we could Google it. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Show me what I want to see. Tell me what I want to hear. That night I was in such a good mood, I didn't bother trying to hide it. As I read the crossword puzzle book Ryoshi had given me, I thought back over our exchange and smiled to myself. Here's the thing. So he does a crossword puzzle book and then he gives it to Snow. But doesn't it have all the puzzles filled in? So it's not even like, well, I'm giving you this puzzle book. Do the puzzles. You can't do the puzzles. They're already done. Like, Ryoshi, you're kind of a dick, right? Anyway. It's just like they say, a weeping child soon smiles. Well, maybe that doesn't exactly apply here. Anyway, you look happy. Do I? I tried to play it off, but I couldn't keep the glee out of my voice. I take it things are going well with her? Yeah, I guess. I'm having her solve a riddle. A riddle, eh? You sure seem to love that stuff. Ryoshi smiled like he was reminiscing about the past. Ryoshi's voice is different every single time he shows up, but whatever. She's a worthy rival, just as I thought. I smirked knowingly. Unlike me, you mean? Yeah, unlike you. At this, he fell silent. I looked up from my book and into his eyes. His hair and eyes were both pale in color. Indeed, his appearance was nothing like the average person's. Just like hers. So yeah, I'm confident she'll be able to solve it. Even you've improved since last time, right, Huntsman? Yeah, probably. All because of you. You single-handedly doomed me to this miserable job. Your job as a hunter? Yeah. That sucks. Don't act like you don't care. I don't. I never do. Trapped inside this house, I had no way of caring about anyone outside it, just myself. But I could learn things secondhand. Through books, of course. Books showed me other people's knowledge, opinions, and fantasies. Books expanded my worldview. I let out a small sigh. Lately, I'd inadvertently remembered my old, forgotten story, and as a result, it suddenly started to progress rapidly. I summoned my powers of deduction. Why did she show up in my life out of nowhere? And why did it trigger a domino effect that altered my whole world? Just as I had presented her with a riddle, she had given me one in return. You know, Huntsman, she's not like you or my mother. I thought she was weird right from the moment we first met. Mirror, mirror on the wall, show me what I want to see, tell me what I want to hear. Gemstone eyes, soft fluffy hair. Yes, I always yearned to one day meet a princess. As it turned out, the one I met was tall and slender. After I met her, we got to talking, and eventually I realized she's special. Aww. Good kind of special, I'm assuming. Once upon a time, there were 10 brothers. As the head of the household, the brothers all obeyed your command. Each had their own unique disposition. Some were arrogant, but they each took on the nature the head of household had chosen for them. At breakfast, Cinderella let out a big, exaggerated sigh. This snapped me out of my thoughts and back to reality. What's the matter, Cinderella? It's not like you to have emotions. Wow, rude much. I have problems too, you know. You do? Red's innocuous comment made Cinderella's smile stiffen. Fine, whatever. You may or may not have already noticed, but sales are down as of late. Cinderella scooted his chair in and sat up straight. I thought our profits didn't matter since we're just doing this for fun. At this, we all nodded in agreement. We didn't live here because of the storefront on the first floor. It was just a fun bonus. We were under no obligation to run a cafe, but since we had the setup, we figured it'd be fun to put it to use. Cinderella averted his eyes awkwardly. Well, you're not wrong, but with such success, with as much success as we've had, wouldn't it kind of suck to watch it fail? He had a point. It would kind of suck. It's true we've had fewer customers, and even during peak lunch rush hours, it's nearly a ghost town. Yeah, I was thinking that. Maybe they're bored of us now. Maybe we should put Kaguya in a mini skirt. Get me to come in. Yeah, country bumpkins tend to get bored quickly. Did a new Stardust or Dunkin' Donuts open up? Look, you can't say Dunkin' Donuts even though it's spelled Dunkin' like the name Dunkin'. I'm still saying Dunkin' Donuts, and Dunkin' Donuts is going to come for me. Don't, though, because, like, look. We're not, I mean, they're not saying Starbucks because they're like, oh my god, this should have been Stardoes or something, you know what I mean? Because, like, bucks and doughs. Get it? Okay, anyway. Did a new Stardust or Dunkin', the name, not like I'm Dunkin' Madonna, donuts, open up somewhere nearby? If so, that would certainly explain it. Country folk tend to flock to anything with a big city feel. You really think they'd open a branch out here in the sticks? Nope. It wouldn't be profitable for them, after all. Yeah, I mean, seriously, they don't need one in the sticks. There's one on every fucking corner. In the South, it's Starbucks fucking everywhere, including in Target. Starbucks and Targets are fucking everywhere. And up north, it's Walmart and Dunkin' Donuts. Look, it's just the way it goes, okay? I don't know about you people that aren't on the East Coast, okay? I know. New England, every corner. You're like, so there's a Dunkin' Donuts there, and then, oh, there's a Dunkin' Donuts, and then there's another. Look, just in case you needed to get to work and have to stop at 14 Dunkin' Donuts in the 2 miles it takes you to get there. There's always about 14. Do you reckon I should have a bit more banter with the birds who come in? Oh, that could work. We could focus on our female demographic. Then we'll need a hot poster boy. Kaguya. Everyone turned to look at Kaguya. Because he's beautiful. Look at his charmingly beautiful, well-drawn face. We could revisit the Punch Kaguya voucher idea. Drop it, Gretel. Kaguya's smile froze on his face. You're just jealous he's prettier than you. I still love you, you creepy weirdo, but look, he's so fucking beautiful. His precious little face. Just want to protect our poor little bunny boy. He's just so sad and has amnesia, doesn't remember shit. What if we turned it into a butler cafe? Oh my god, yes, please. Like, welcome home, milady. Yeah, that. Isn't that kind of cringy? You shut up, Gretel. Major cringy. Shut up, Cinderella. I really think we gave out Punch Kaguya vouchers. Stop. What about one free hug per drink? I'm mad about you, darling. I don't want to let you go. I mean, okay. Works on me. Or one wall slam per drink. Don't even look at other guys. I'm the only man you need. Or one chin cup per drink? Say, can I kiss you? Or one yandere outburst per drink. Sister! 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 Is that a reference to someone, pray tell? Hmm? I'm referring to you, of course. It was actually really fun to say sister in Kaguya's voice. I don't know. Kaguya smiled. Gretel responded with a punch to the gut. Go! Kaguya! Now then, I guess I'd better come up with a new menu. Gretel continued as though nothing had happened. In that case, how about the hot fruit punch? Red suggested innocently. The what now? Well, you see, Spacey made snowflake gelatin shapes floating in warm fruit punch. Remember when you made those donut bites and Cinderella was talking about seasonal desserts? It was an idea I came up with off the top of my head. I rambled like my life depended on it. Oh, I see now. Interesting. Kaguya and Cinderella smirked knowingly at me. I mean, Cinderella's smirk is so great. Oh god, everyone knows! They totally know! Gasping, I whirled around to find Gretel squinting at me dubiously, because, like, he's the one that's going to chain us up. What? Nothing? Scratch that. Everyone but Gretel knows. I'm tentatively interested in this hot fruit punch idea. Apples, bananas, grapes, pineapples. And their sugar content increases as they ripen and they're good for the skin. Oh, nice. Girls like that crap, right? What else? We could offer a fruit tea, maybe? And that would pair nicely with our desserts. And we could just eat the leftover fruit by itself. Sure, but it wouldn't be very good. Maybe we could add whipped cream or chocolate. Oh, what, like a fondue? Oh, that could work. But... The fuck, game? What the fuck, computer? My computer has some serious fucking issues. I was sitting here, it's plugged in, it's not being touched. My computer has some serious motherfucking problems. Like, usually I'm sitting there with it on my lap, and if I move, that makes sense. I'm sitting here, I am not fucking moving. I was moving my mouse. That is not jiggling my computer, it's sitting on a desk. Seriously, fuck this computer. God, I hate it so much sometimes. But, like, we spent a fuck ton of money on it. I've only had it a year, but, like, it's the biggest fucking problem. I need to try one of the other power cords on this one and see if it works. I don't know. Anyway, we need to raise the price for that or we'll be in the red. Sounds like we should give it some more thought. And the only other problem is that a lot of the fruits aren't in season during the wintertime. Indeed. We'd be limited to oranges, strawberries, and apples, I suppose. Well, we got a load of apples now, thanks to our puppet. Alright, now that you're all up to date and raring to go, let's get out there. Up to date and raring, yeah, okay. Let's get out there and make some cash. Yeah! We thrust our fist into the air. From there, our ideas proved to be a huge success and business returned in full force to our cafe. The end. I was like, way to gloss over that. I didn't read through the end. Like, and at full force, and I was like, that didn't even, wow, so what was the point of that? Just fucking with us. Just kidding. I wish it was that easy, but alas.
As I tucked my knees up to my chest and let out a sigh, Snow White eyed me curiously. Oh, and then of course it moved my fucking guide because this computer's a piece of shit. What's wrong? Lately it seems like our cafe's been losing a lot of customers. In the end, our efforts didn't draw in a single person. Of course, I knew complaining to Snow White wasn't going to solve anything. But I needed to vent. Fortunately, this troubling development seemed to resonate with Snow White, as he responded with uncharacteristic sympathy. It's not your fault. He reassured me gently. Thanks, you're so sweet to me. For some reason, he averted his gaze awkwardly. No, I'm not. I'm not sweet at all. This triggered a yellow flag in my mind. Had I touched another sore spot without realizing? Either way, I decided not to dig too deeply. Instead, I changed the subject. Oh, that reminds me. You remember the hot fruit punch I made a while back? We decided to start selling it at the cafe. I clapped my hands together excitedly. Fortunately, Snow White took the bait. The snowflake drink? Yeah, that. I beamed at him, but he turned away. Then his shoulders started to shake. Confused, I tried to get a good look at his face, but then he turned back to me. So, did you solve the riddle yet? He had regained his usual stoic expression and flat tone. He's laughing about our hot fruit punch. Oh, right, that. I recited the riddle just as Snow White had presented it to me. As the head of the household, the brothers all obeyed your command. Each had their own unique disposition. Some were arrogant, but they each took on the nature the head of the household had chosen for them. First, the word your indicates the listener. Thus, the 10 brothers obey the listener. This suggests that the 10 brothers are something the listener uses regularly. Next, the 10 brothers. They each have their own unique disposition, but the word brothers suggests that they're all associated with the same family of sorts. So if you think about a family of 10 things you control on a daily basis. As I spoke, I quietly gauged his reaction. He listened quietly to my reasoning, but his expression didn't shift whatsoever, so it was impossible to tell whether I was on the right track. Anyway, that's as far as I've gotten as of right now. I still haven't settled on an answer, though. Am I off base? Not really. He smiled awkwardly, a rare occurrence for him. Apparently, I was headed in the right direction. You really are nothing like him. At one point, I gave him the same riddle, and he really agonized over it. He had a distant look in his eyes. Then I remembered Snow White telling me about someone who reminded him of me. Are you talking about that one friend of yours? Yeah. I was curious what this other friend was like, so I decided to ask directly. Could you tell me more about him? I vaguely remembered asking this question last time around, but all I got in response was, he smokes a lot, and you two look nothing alike. You want to know about him? Of course! He fell silent for a moment, but he didn't seem unwilling, just unsure how to begin. Slowly but surely, however, he found the words he was looking for. He's stoic and rude and rough around the edges. Like you, he's tactless, outspoken, noisy, and utterly dense. Oh, he said nosy, not noisy. But he carries himself with conviction and a strong sense of compassion. When I first met him here on the lakeshore, I was looking down at the water. Then he called out to me from the other side. Apparently he thought I was planning to drown myself. Now why does that sound so familiar? But I took an interest in him, so I invited him to meet here again the next night. This is oddly exactly what happened in Oz. I didn't think he'd actually show up. Why would he waste another night on me? I was just some random kid. But he did, didn't he? He did. That said, we didn't do anything special together. He would smoke and I would look at the lake. Sometimes we'd talk, but that was it. I thought you took an interest in him. Yeah, but I didn't have anything to talk about. Okay, not exactly. Maybe I just didn't know how to start the conversation. But what surprised me was, he came back here the next night, and the next and the next. Over time, we talked about a lot of stuff. He told me all about his life and how he ended up out here in the countryside. And the more he told me, the more I found I could relate. The things he liked, the things he hated, the way he saw the world, I agreed with all of it. Sounds like you were 2 peas in a pod. He nodded. Maybe that was why I took an interest in him. And maybe it was a gut instinct. He would always tell me about his little sister, her likes and dislikes, the books she read, the things that made her sad. Aw, he sounds like a really caring big brother. I don't know about that. If anything, he didn't seem to like her much. That's the way Huntsman has always been about us. Why's that? Probably because she reminded him of his own appearance. See, he told me his uncommon looks prevented him from pursuing something he truly cared about. Ash gray hair and icy blue eyes. Pretty weird, right? Ash gray. For some reason, this caught my attention. Ash gray hair and icy blue eyes. Why did that sound so familiar? Does his sister have an unusual appearance too? You know what? Snow White was poisoned with an apple and then got woken up by, like, the prince. Are we, like, passed out and, like, Snow White's gonna wake us up? Because we don't remember Ryoshi, even though he's actually our brother. And we live with the 4 idiots instead of the 7 dwarves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think we would have to, like, wake Snow White with a kiss, but perhaps we're the ones, Curious. I'm just curious. Does his sister have an unusual appearance too? Yeah. He showed me a picture once. She's really pretty, although I don't know if she would agree. She was really gifted, so their parents were always focused on her, which probably made it harder for him to like her. Classic inferiority complex. She made him feel insecure, even though she was a lot younger than him. But I related to his feelings super hard. I'm sick of having a mirror held up to me constantly. I'm only ever going to be myself. I just wanted someone to accept that. His tone was soft and full of sympathy for his friend. You must really care about him. Yeah, I do. He smiled. Where is he now? Somewhere far, far away. I see. And yet he's in your room every night. I was wondering why we referred to the guy in past tense. Evidently, they'd fallen out of contact. Oh. Is that why you come here every night? Hoping he'll come back for you? At this, Snow White stared at me in wide-eyed silence. This reaction confused me. Then he smiled faintly with a faraway look in his eyes. No, I'm the one who went somewhere far away. He reached out to the lake, almost like he was yearning to go to the mirror world contained within. In another moment, Alice was through the glass, and had jumped lightly down into the looking-glass room. Like actual Alice? That night I dreamed of the past. I was begging my brother to tell me more about the prince as white as snow. I was dying to know how the rest of the story went. Hey, big brother? Yeah, what's up? I want to know more about the prince. I've already told you all I know about him. There's nothing more to tell. Oh, darn it. A prince as white as snow? I wish I could have met him myself. Can you stop talking about him like he's a fairy tale character? Isn't it magical? No, it makes me shudder. Oh, I get it, because snow is cold. Ow! Don't hit me! Your prince hits people too, you know. Oh, really? That's weird. How do you feel about him, big brother? He was an obnoxious brat with a foul mouth and a fickle, snotty attitude. But without him, I wouldn't be who I am today. So he led you to the right path? Yeah. Healer of undiagnosed neurological trauma. That makes you a hunter. Get it? Just like your name. Great. Now you sound like him. Really? Then we would have been best friends. Absolutely not. Oh, come on. You can't know that for sure unless I meet him someday. You better not be plotting anything behind my back. This is really... I'm like kind of... Well, I mean, we keep talking about the looking glass world and the mirror world, so... When I woke, I found myself in my bedroom at the cafe. Just a dream? I sat up and looked around the room. It was just my ordinary bedroom. Nothing appeared to have changed. And yet, for some reason, I felt restless in my own house. In my dream, I was talking to a man with ash gray hair and icy blue eyes, and addressing him as Big Brother. Was it because of the conversation I had with Snow White about his friend? One can say that a dream is a reproduction or recreation of our memories. In most cases, the people and places that appear in your dreams are taken wholesale from your past. Even when you dream about total strangers, your brain still uses your past experiences to create them. It's nothing more than a manifestation of your subconscious. And maybe I do know him. What was this uncertainty I felt in my chest? Why did something feel distinctly wrong? Something's not right. How so? Nobody's coming to the cafe. There we were in the middle of the lunch rush. Yes, our lunch rush. Wow, yet our store was as dead as a doornail. Doshite. Why? Why won't they come inside? Doshite. Doshite. Our cafe was located right in the heart of downtown. This complete lack of customers wasn't just alarming, it was downright preposterous. We were so busy just a few days ago. How could they all just vanish? I mean, maybe that's something to do with whatever the fuck is happening here. And that's when I'm wondering. We've really done our best. Wall slamming, floor slamming, hugs from behind, strangulation. We even came up with a new menu. I don't know what kind of person would choose strangulation, but more power to you. At this point, if we've done all we can and it's still not good enough, I say we let it go. We're only doing this for fun anyway. I agree. As do I. Really? Just like that? I know it was just a fun side project, but we need money to live. Without any customers, how will we pay for our ingredients? Then again, without any customers, we don't need to buy ingredients, so maybe we'll be fine. It's like all the people in the world just vanished. Like hell they all vanished. What am I, chopped liver? Yeah? Ow! Scowling, he flicked my forehead. Enough snark. Now get to work. Fair enough. Now that I think about it, where's Gretel? Beats me. Maybe he's cooped up in the kitchen making sweets again. No one's in the kitchen at the moment. If he's not busy cooking, then perhaps he's gone out. And maybe there's a new dessert he's got to queue up for a few hours. Maybe there's a new dessert and he's got to queue up for a few hours to get it. Ugh, I could totally see him doing that. Good grief, that selfish brat. Well, if we ain't got customers, then there's no work to be done here. I'm going back to my room to work on my projects. And with that, he gleefully headed upstairs. You two can go do other stuff too if you want. My brothers always worked hard to ensure I could have leisure time. Now it was my turn to cover for them. What to do? I reckon that what I like best is spending time with you, Poppet. As usual, it was eminently clear why Kaguya was popular with the ladies. What about you, Red? I shall remain here as well. And as usual, Red preferred to take a more subtle approach. He's like, I really don't understand fun, how to do it, so I'm just gonna sit here and stare. An hour went by. They're not coming. So it seems. So it seems. I don't know why that came out kind of Cinderella. Cinderella? Kagurella? There you go. Indeed. We waited and waited, but no one came. As I rolled an apple around the table out of boredom, Red looked up suddenly. And that reminds me, did you solve the riddle? You know what is funny, though? Everyone bought the apples. Maybe they all fell asleep. What riddle? Oh, what riddle? I don't know why I keep wanting to do Cinderella's voice on him. Her Prince Charming gave her a challenging riddle to solve. Something about 10 brothers, or what was it again? Red couldn't seem to remember, so I took it upon myself to explain. Once upon a time, there were 10 brothers. As the head of the household, the brothers all obeyed your command. Each had their own unique disposition. Some were arrogant, but they each took on the nature the head of the household had chosen for them. Yes, that. How many pieces are there in chess? I don't know. I'm just, look, it could be like, because, well, I wouldn't say they're taking on the nature, but you're telling them where to go. You're the player. I don't know. Oh, the answer is words, right? What? Okay, I wouldn't gonna go. No. Red blinked at me in surprise. You figured it out without any hints? Yep. His jaw dropped and he stared at me. Almost like I'd grown a second head or something. No surprise there, of course. After all, I'd only just thought of the answer myself. Maybe all this free time is good for something after all. Idle hands are the mother of invention or something like that. I took a deep breath and began to explain my theory. Cool. Once upon a time, there were 10 brothers. As the head of the household, the brothers all obeyed your command. Each had their own unique disposition. Some were arrogant. But they each took on the nature the head of the household had chosen for them. I mean, words take on the nature that you assign. Well, okay, all right. First, the word your indicates the listener. Thus, the 10 brothers obey the listener. This suggests that the 10 brothers are something the listener uses regularly. Next, the 10 brothers. They each have their own unique disposition. But the word brothers suggests that they're all associated with the same family of sorts. So if you think about a family of 10 things you control on a daily basis, you arrive at parts of speech. Oh, okay. Nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjective. Oh, nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, determiners, conjunctions, interjections, prepositions, and particles. What's a determiner? Clearly don't know words. I attempted to make my explanation as straightforward as possible. Oh. But Red's reaction was muted at best. Whoa. Doesn't make much sense to me, but I'm impressed. Kaguya, however, was another story. He grinned and applauded me. He's such a simple little being. Suppose the answer is words. Then why do the brothers take on the nature the head of the household chooses for them? Because words can change their meaning depending on how they're used. True. For example, if someone uses the word literally to mean figuratively, then that's what it means. And everybody gets so mad. One more person says literally when they mean figuratively, because people are fucking pedantic. How very condescending. Sounds like him, all right. All I could do was smile and shrug. Even though I have the answer, there's still so much I don't understand. I hastily steered the conversation back on track. What was the point of giving me this riddle anyway? If he's asking me to solve it, then that means he wants me to find the answer, right? If he didn't want me to find it, he wouldn't need to go out of his way to do this. Shouldn't you be asking him that? Yeah, I guess. That said, I didn't want to risk inadvertently offending him by asking. As much as I wanted the answer, I was too afraid to seek it. Words, a necessary tool to express thoughts and feelings, but I was too afraid to use them. While words could help illuminate the darkest corners of the human psyche, so too could they pierce like a blade. Like a vorpal blade? What? Nothing. That's more Alice type. That's more like the Alice in Wonderland, but... In that case, what if I found a different way to communicate? I don't think he's ready for that, sweetie. And so... Alright, let's get started. You're gonna cook food for him. He doesn't eat. Jesus. I rolled up my sleeves and set about making an apple pie. Why an apple pie, you ask? Because he likes his mother's apple pie, and I don't know the meaning of the word he doesn't eat. I was gonna go with no, but, well. Because it was Snow White's favorite, according to his mother, at least. But there were other reasons, too, of course. For some reason, my mind kept drifting back to apple pies. Snow White had rejected my cooking twice thus far. And it still wasn't clear why. Plus, there was the mystery of the rotten apple pie I had received from his mother. I couldn't help but think there was some sort of connection. And if I was too afraid to ask him with my words, then I'd have to get creative. In other words, I'd use the apple pie to play a little mind game. For now, I'll work from memory and get it tasting as close to Mother's as possible. time later, I stood with my arms folded. What am I missing? Unfortunately, my pie only resembled Mother's in appearance. It was still perfectly tasty, of course, but that wasn't good enough for me. When I arrived at the lake, I found Snow White sitting on the pier, looking out at the water, just like always. I considered calling out to him, but stopped myself. He was peering down at the water like he had half a mind to jump in. Silently, I stood beside him and followed suit. At least this way I could sort of understand how he felt. The water rippled slowly. Milky moonlight reflected off the surface. There was a full moon tonight. Why was Snow White so obsessed with this lake anyway? Just then the wind petered out and the waters gradually fell still. Instantly the surface transformed into an almost perfect upside-down mirror image. Almost as though an upside-down world was trapped just beneath. I reached out to it. Could I pass through to the other side? Just then, Snow White grabbed my hand. Snow White? I looked up to find him staring at me wide-eyed. A moment later, he was back to his usual stoic expression. He gazed at me intently. So I stared right back into his eyes, silently challenging him. As if to say, you have something to say. If you have something to say, then say it. Normally, he would have immediately averted his eyes, but not this time. As he scrutinized me, he spoke as quietly as the lake itself. Do you like the way you look? What? Are you saying there's something wrong with the way I look? What the fuck? Oh, God, I just kicked my slipper, and I thought I kicked like a cat or something, like an animal. Like, oh, no! I don't have a cat or an animal or something. I have birds, but he's sitting on my shoulder, and he wouldn't be. But holy crap, it scared the shit out of me. Like, you know how, like, if a cat or a dog is under a table and you accidentally kick them, you're like, no! And you just feel like an awful human. I had that split-second moment. Holy Christ. Anyway, on one hand, the question felt so sudden. But on the other hand, everything about our friendship was sudden. He probably had a good reason for asking. I just didn't know what it was yet. After a moment of silence, I let out a long breath. Do you like the way you look? Yes. Yeah, I like it. It gets me a lot of attention, which isn't always fun, but it's part of who I am. I smiled as I spoke. At this, he narrowed his eyes slightly. You're a strong person. You think so? Yeah. I'd say I like your appearance. I love your gemstone eyes and soft, fluffy hair. It's what makes you you. Thank you. An icy breeze brushed my cheek. The still lake waters began to stir once more. But Snow White didn't let go of my hand. In spite of the wind, I was toasty warm. But I don't like mine. I hate looking in the mirror. The first time I saw my reflection, I didn't believe it was actually me. Skin as white as snow. Lips and cheeks as red as an apple. Bright, shiny hair. I was convinced I was looking at someone else. Aw. Sounds intense. He nodded. Then he reached out with his free hand and cupped my cheek. Tell me, Harisu, how do you see me? Well, you have white hair, lilac eyes, lips as red as an apple. You're a prince as pure as the driven snow. I murmured, enchanted by his beauty. You only see me that way because it's your dream. What do you mean? You idealize me too much, that's all. Once you wake up, you'll only be disappointed. How come? Because the real me is a monster. I'm like, Ryoshi's actually your brother, but we're in here. Did we fall into the lake or some shit? I'm just saying. Honestly, there was so much about him I still didn't understand. I didn't know what he was thinking or what feelings he kept hidden inside. But one thing was for sure, he was trying to tell me something. Like, Mom, and like, the original thing. Okay, so like, in the very beginning, we talked to Ryoshi, right? And then we're kind of like getting hazy. And then the next thing you know, we're here, and it was like, wait, what? And like, Snow White's mother was like, don't leave the house, but it was like, it wasn't the Gretel cottage, but it was like a cottage, because it was like the same kind of like cottagey background that, say, Red had, right? And then now Snow White's living in that mansion house that was actually ours when we lived there, right? But okay. And we have 4 brothers that weren't Ryoshi. And like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some weird shit going on. And now all of a sudden people are disappearing. And it's like, apples put Snow White to sleep. And like, you know, I don't know. Oh, I get it. So that's why the answer is words. Huh? The answer to your riddle. I can't know for sure how you feel, Snow White, but I can at least imagine it. Since we can't know what the other person is thinking, we have to observe them and make an educated guess. Which is why we have communication, and games, and words. The common thread linking all those things is that they require 2 or more people to define their value. And that applies to help, too. So if I had to guess, I'd say you're asking me to help you. Maybe he's trying to help us. Oh my god, we're in a coma in a hospital somewhere. What's that supposed to mean? You can't just assume that. Plenty of things require 2 or more people to have meaning. Like love? No. There's such thing as self-love, you know. Okay then, romance. You can't have romance without, well, someone to romance. You mean, like you and me? Yeah, like you and me. You think I idolize... Oh my god. That's idolize, but like... But that's idolize, not idealize. Idealize. But my brain couldn't say that. You think I idealize. I can't say it! Why can't I read it in a sentence? Anyway. Too much? Well, duh. Idealize you. I'm in love with you, silly. When you're in love, you fall under a magic spell that makes everything about the other person seem perfect. It's weird how you can just say a word, but then when you try to say it in a sentence, it's like your brain doesn't want to say it. It's fucking weird. It's not like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, where you're not... I mean, like, hello? Really, brain? So, falling in love is like a dream? You could say that. I love you, Snow White. I love your fickle, blunt attitude and your foul mouth. It's what makes you, you. I don't know. But in that case, what happens when the spell is broken and you wake up? See, I mean, we like passed out somewhere. When you wake up, you'll see the real me, and then you'll change your mind about me. Did you put me in this dream? Did you do this? Did you? Because you met Ryoshi, so then you came to my house, or had your mother put me in the... and now I'm like in a dream world with you, some kind of weird, like coma fucking dream, like some kind of shit, and like I'm talking to you, but I'm not. I'm just saying. If that happens, then I'll just love the real you too. Problem solved. I mean, that's just probably not a good in reality, but you know, it was a game, so sure. Love and being in love are not the same thing. Love is selfless. Love accepts all your flaws and ugly parts as part of a package deal. But this is something you can do for yourself too. You can look at yourself and say, this is just who I am. Because when it comes down to it, someone who can't love themselves can never truly be happy. If you won't accept love from yourself, then you won't be able to accept it from other people either. So you may just have to try to love the Snow White you see in the mirror. Because that might be the only way to heal you. You're going to help me? Of course! You'll stay by my side and love me. Oh, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Anyway. You'll stay by my side and love me, even after you wake up? Yes, I'll love you, even after the dream comes to an end. You make it sound easy, but it won't be. Yeah, because he seems like so normal, and then we're going to wake up and he's going to be a douche canoe, and we're going to be like, fuck, what? We made a promise. I know that, but I'll do whatever it takes. Like solve a riddle? What was the correct answer anyway? Words. Yes! I held up my hand for a high five, but he left me hanging. Woohoo! So I switched to a fist pump instead. Same thing, more or less. I'm impressed you found the answer. Almost like you knew it all along. I didn't cheat, I swear. I'm not so sure about that. But a promise is a promise. Since you won, I guess I have to do whatever you ask. Darn tootin'! Now what shall I have you do? I smirked impishly. Let's hear it. Okay, then. I smell something sweet. Apple pie? Did you make it yourself?
Yeah.
Busted.
For me?
Well, yeah. Your mom told me that you really like apple pie, so...
I see.
Look, you don't really have to eat it if you don't want to.
It's not that. You went fair and square, and I promised to do whatever you asked.
And this is how he's going to eat and realize nothing actually... Wait, this doesn't poison me.
So I'll eat it.
Is he like a prince in a coma? And then, like, we ended up falling asleep. We're in a dream world. And, like, that's why everything poisons him in this world. Because, like, his mother's, like, feeding him poison to keep him, like... But that was, like, an episode of Smallville. Like, the girl, like, had some weird dream powers and was, like, popping into people's dreams and shit. And, like, you know, it was because her uncle kept feeding her drugs to, like, keep her in a coma for some reason. Like, I'm just saying, it could be like that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here because it's that time. So, yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.